All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Multiverse Show, episode 73, our Halloween special for this year. And we got a nice, different, but always unique kind of show going on with you guys with the full crew on tonight, finally. Jeez, everyone's been getting sick and stuff, and we got our man Undead here who's coming in from the cold. Sipping on that Buckley's on the side.
I can't believe that's not a thing anywhere else. I thought that was wow. Let's forget how I'm drinking Tim Hortons right now too. So like honestly,
like the go-to cold syrup in Britain is called Calpol. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes. My grandfather used to swear by it.
Calpol is amazing and it tastes great.
All right. So wait, we got to do our introductions for the evening. Let's start off first with the Titan of Texas, the voice of the people, my co-host Fame Entertainment. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, buddy. What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from TICGN.com. Welcome to the Multiverse Show, the greatest show on a Monday. And I do want to apologize to Lynn and blame Anchor because he didn't give me 15 seconds to cuss pre-show. So if I cuss, it's Anchor's fault, okay? Because you guys know I'm from a big, deep, dark corner that is a double XP podcast where I can curse and say things freely, and I'm a more of a tamed Fame on the Multiverse Show. So blame Anchor. We ain't blaming Fame, we blame Anchor. But thank you guys for being here with us today. It is the greatest show on a Monday, and we have an amazing show for you guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit our Patreon link, support the team, support the family, and it's going to be a great show. Thank you guys. Let's go. Yeah, buddy.
All right, and we also have the Chief of Achievements, the one true King of the North, Mr. Undead 3XBI. How you doing?
Oh, glad to be back on the show tonight. A little rougher for wear than usual, but ready to let's get it.
All right, and we have the Caesar of Cinema, Mr. James Wilson.
I'm very tired and very busy. Hello, it's me. You're very welcome.
All right, we have our Italian companion, the infamous Mike P. True.
All right, guys, what's going on? It's Mike. Thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode of the Multiverse Show, and let's get it going.
And we have our guest for the evening, the legitimate Italian companion, the one vying for the throne, Creepy Bunny.
What's up, people? Thank you for having me tonight. The cast looks great, and I am honored to be part of the discussion tonight. Yeah, let's talk about games. Paris Games Week, good stuff.
Games,
All
we
right.
talk games. We don't talk games, sir. We talking hardware. That's what.
All right, so we got our ever-present topic we ask every single week. What have you guys been playing? Let's start with Undead here. What have you been playing, sir?
Well, I'm just about done South Park, The Fractured Butthole, just about. Anyways, just doing up some side stuff before I finish up the game. That should give me the 100% on the achievements too, so that'll be good. Then I'm going to start on Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. I got about 45 minutes into that and decided I had to put it down or else I would not stop playing it. So I had to go back and finish South Park. So yeah, South Park, the Wolfenstein 2, and then Assassin's Creed Origins after that. Just too many damn games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it warms my heart. It warms my heart to hear all these people playing with black characters. The fact that I hear that you're back 100% has been you got the darkest character in the game. I'm so proud. Warms my heart.
Actually, it's really funny because in The Stick of Truth, I actually played as a fully black Jew character for my full playthrough of South Park. Just for
so you played as Jesus? That's awesome.
I was going to go with Sammy Davis Jr., but your answer's good too.
Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least after the draft, he is Jewish, yeah.
All right. So, Fame, what have you been playing other than the Fractured Butthole?
Yeah, well, actually, I haven't got as much time into the Fractured Butthole, aka the game of the year, because if you guys have kids, man, it is hard to really play this game around kids. So I haven't got to play as much as I would like, but that should be changing by this week. I should be able to get most of the game done pretty quick. I'll devote myself to it. But when I have the time to play, it's really been Destiny 2. If you guys know, running with the Lawless gang. A lot of Destiny 2. And I've been playing Hue on my PS Vita. Cooler game I saw a while back that ended up going free last month. And I decided to go ahead and quit being lazy and play it because I've been on my Vita a lot more. And I'm really enjoying Hue. So if you guys looking for an indie fix, Hue is the way to go. So that, Destiny 2, and a little bit of South Park, but more South Park coming.
All right. So, Mike, what you been playing?
I mean, as always, I'm playing Forza, still really enjoying that. And other than that, I did pick up Super Mario Odyssey, the true Game of the Year 2017.
Lies and propaganda.
But I mean,
where's the kick button?
I'm tempted.
Nah, man, don't. The game is great. I'm really enjoying it. I just started the Lost Kingdom. I think it is. It's the kingdom right after the first Bowser fight. So I'm not sure how far along I am in the game, but I mean, what I'm playing so far, I'm really enjoying it. I don't think it's as good as Mario Galaxy 2, which in my opinion was the pinnacle of the 3D Mario games, but it's damn close. Like I'm having trouble finding any flaws with it.
No, sunshine, mate.
Yeah, man. Super Mario Sunshine. Gotta represent.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw someone, they were like, "Super Mario Odyssey makes the Super Mario Sunshine look like garbage." I was like, "Boy."
I'm sure the brief time that I played of Odyssey, it does fit it. I do prefer it to Sunshine, but Sunshine is very good.
I don't know. The big issue I have with Super Mario Odyssey is the absolute insistence on motion controls. It is so annoying. It's like, I don't want to play it with motion controls. I want to stick with my tablet mode. Leave me alone.
I've heard it's better on with the motion controls.
I don't care.
I actually enjoy it with the motion controls. I got to play a couple hours of it. I actually didn't mind the motion controls that much.
Yeah, I don't think it's really that intrusive.
You Nintendo drones.
Well, no, I can only play any Nintendo console with the Pro controller because any other controllers they have are just throw them in the garbage.
I can't get down with you guys tonight. I don't know you people. But yeah, so
I didn't even own a Switch. Don't ever go at me.
Speaking of Mr. not owning a Switch, what have you been playing? There's nothing coming out for you.
I have not yet. I haven't been playing any of the brand new games because I'm poor, frankly. But I'm getting, as I've said before, I've been getting my roommate who's never really played games before. We finished Bloodborne. That was amazing. He did really, really well for his first time through. We're going on to the Old Hunters DLC, and I'm getting him to play through The Last of Us at the moment.
Nice. I like this guy. I like that.
We're gonna be doing Resident Evil 7. Oh no, actually, we did What Remains of Edith Finch this week, and he really liked that.
Yes,
because of course he did, because it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be big friends, James.
Yeah. Well, if you like What Remains of Edith Finch, you're on the right podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only game we all like.
Yeah.
That and Tetris. That's it.
Yeah, man. That game is just excellent.
Yeah, so good.
All right. What about? Okay, so we now know that most of you guys have been playing. What about you, Nick? Oh, not Nick. Buddy. This is the issue when you have two Nicks on a podcast.
Just look at the picture. You'll think of the bunny.
What you been playing, Bunny?
I've been jumping around a couple stuff. It's been basically Fortnite here and there, the infamous copy paste of PUBG. It's pretty fun, especially with a partner. It can be really frustrating. It's really, it can be really punishing. But if you get those victories, it's really, it's also really rewarding, especially with the latest patch, which introduces a nice, ranking system, which is appreciated. It's kind of cool. And then also GT Sport, which is, Infamous for all his flaws, but I'm enjoying it. I put, I don't know, 18, 20 hours into it, and I'm surprised because it's a game that it may scare some new people, not fan of racing, because it's got this thing of being really a simulation, and if you're not good in with racing games, you may suck at the game, you may not do well online. But myself, I'm not good at racing games at all, but I'm a fan of GT, and the game does a good job making you, I don't know, do well, making you race with the right guys. So I won a good share of online races. The driving, the school driving, it's the classic from Gran Turismo. It's pretty cool if you're into that. And the missions. I mean, I spent, as I said, a big chunk of time in that game, and then I've been playing the latest, newest releases, such as also Assassin's Creed Origins, which I'm liking as well. Love the RPGs elements into it. The leveling up, the side missions. Not a big fan of the combat though. I think it's a little clunky, and the animations are, I don't know. So. And Wolfenstein 2. Wolfenstein 2 is ridiculously great. I mean, from the gameplay, the fluidity, that Doom engine just does miracles, and it's great. It's great so far. Now, I didn't finish it, but...
Well, how far have you gotten, though? That's the question. How far?
I just reached the top of the Empire, and I saved.
Oh, okay. See, you haven't gotten the halfway twist. You haven't gotten to the meat and potatoes of Wolfenstein.
Nah.
But yeah, man, I myself have been playing Wolfenstein 2, and let me tell you.
Oh, really? What a surprise.
That is game of the year. I don't care about no Fractured Butthole. I don't care about Assassin's Creed, Mario Odyssey,
more like Mario Odyssey,
more like Mario False Odyssey. that game
was weak.
Nah, dude,
weak.
I respect both puns. That was a good pun.
No.
I picked up Mario Odyssey.
No, I can't take credit for Mario Odyssey. That was actually Blandro, so I got to shout him out for that.
I just gotta say that there's no way that out of the top 10 most best rated games of all time, 6 of them are Mario games, yet none of them have a story I could even care about.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Mario Odyssey. I picked it up. Mario Odyssey is a good game. I'm like about the halfway point through Mario Odyssey 2, so I've been playing for a bit. And it's a good Mario game. Not taking that away from it. But when you compare it to the other stuff that's come out this year, it's just okay. Like, that's kind of it.
It's better than Breath of the Wild. I'm calling that right now.
No, you take that back.
No way. Nope.
Nah, man. You're wrong for that.
Well, see,
I don't think you can compare them. They're too different.
What? No, because I'm just basing it off of which game I'm having more fun playing. And I've had fun playing Breath of the Wild. I'm still not finished it. I think I'm like 45 hours in or something like that. But based on what I played so far, I'm having the most fun with Mario out of any game I've played this year.
Some people are into masochism. I can't just judge it based on I can't judge it based on what you like. Like I said, some people are into masochism. They like hurting themselves. I can't do that.
This come from the dude whose game of the year is Snake Pass.
Shut up, man. Snake Pass is a national treasure.
Yeah, see, any validity that Anchor has is just out the window with that one.
No, I will say I have played 3 games better than Snake Pass this year. Only 3.
Snake Pass was so good. Just, I don't know.
Snake Pass is solid, man.
Making that little noodle just twirl around poles and stuff, that alone would just make the game great.
Disgraziad.
Disgraziado.
Oh God. But yeah. But let's go. Like Wolfenstein 2. Now again, this non-spoilery stuff. This game, when New Order came out, that was a big surprise that they were able to humanize a literal two-dimensional character. BJ Blazkowicz had no character prior than I just kill Nazis before New Order. And they actually managed to flesh him out and give him adequate motivation. And in this game, they even go farther. I kind of summed it up this way, and I used Last of Us as an example for this, where you have a character like Joel. You don't know much about Joel before the zombie outbreak. You don't know much about it. And he's kind of like a one-note tragedy kind of guy. Oh, yeah, my daughter died. And that's a big loss, and the zombie outbreak is more like a backdrop and a allegory for grief. But BJ Blazkowicz in Wolfenstein 2, you see the horrors of what he grew up with and how that built him into the man he is today and influences it. And it's not just a one-note tragedy, it's a multi-note. It's a whole chorus of tragedies. It's just beautiful. And watching it come together, and the first half of the game is very morose and depressing, but it's fun at the same time. But once you hit that second half, and I'm not going to tell you when that second half is, but it's about halfway through the game. All of a sudden, everything clicks, and this game fires on all cylinders. Where Wolfenstein 2 was kind of in that 7.5, 8 point, so that 8.0 kind of trajectory. When you hit that halfway point, it suddenly jumps into the 9-10 category. It's a big jump, and it's amazing. It's just absolutely stunning, guys. I can't even kid. It's just excellent. So that's my little spiel. So let's talk about Paris Games Week, get into some major topics for the evening. So Paris Games Week came and went, and I guess it was pretty boring. We don't go home, right?
Lies. We're going to talk about
Well then.
Boy.
But I'm bummed.
Should we talk about a couple things before we talk about the main thing we all want to talk about?
Sure, go ahead.
Should we just get them out of the way? Let's get. Anybody watch the Detroit trailer?
All right, I got to say this about Detroit. That game, I got to admit, I know it's been around for a little bit now, but that game wasn't even on my radar. That trailer was dope. That game is totally on my radar now. It looks so good.
Same here. Same here. Wasn't on my radar. I played the demo at EGX last month, and straight to second. I think my most anticipated game of next year is Detroit.
I
cannot wait to play that.
That is easily a day one buy for me. Easy. Yeah.
The trailer they showed today at PSX Paris Games Week was probably the best segment. I think they showed of the game, together with this skyscraper scene where the girl may fall, may not. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the other one, the new game from Sucker Punch.
Yes,
that was the Ghost of Tsushima, right?
I was not going to try and pronounce it, but thank you for doing it.
Yeah. I was genuinely surprised. I did not expect that to come out of Sucker Punch.
Yeah, we've got a realistic open world samurai game.
I was convinced it was something related to Nihon or I don't know, Onimusha or something like that. I was surprised too. I know I knew Sucker Punch was gonna come out at some point in time, and if there was a moment, the beginning of the conference was gonna be that moment. But watching the samurai stuff, I was not really connecting to Sucker Punch. It was weird. What's a surprise? Definitely.
Is it crazy that this is the first open world samurai game that we're ever gonna get? It seems like it's a long time coming.
I mean, I know it's an interesting period. It's talking about the Mongol invasion of Japan, which nobody ever talks about. So I mean, hey, it's different. I'm down.
As though
let's let's get funky, right? Let's cut right to the chase. The Last of Us 2 is gonna be like game of the year for whatever year it releases. And it's not even gonna be fun.
2019, 2020.
It's gonna be the game. I don't care. I don't care what
the gameplay out.
It doesn't matter. They don't have to. You clip it. Once you said clip her wings, I was like, oh, I almost cussed. Oh, I was hyped. Clip them wings. I'm all for the gore and blood porn, right? So they had me. I don't care about seeing gameplay. I don't need to see it. That trailer got me. We know it's gonna be greatness. So whatever comes out this year, that year is DOA. That's gonna be game of the year. I am so freaking hyped. I lost my mind when I saw the trailer.
Yeah, I'm really, really glad that the trailers that we have for The Last of Us Part 2 so far have been tone pieces, really. I'm really glad that we haven't seen a story trailer or a gameplay trailer. I don't want them. I don't want that at all.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You don't want to spoil any part of the story.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things the less they showed it better.
And then again, Spider-Man. Oh my God! Like, it's just gaming is just such a beautiful hobby.
Well, Spider-Man now, that is a game that I do want to see gameplay of.
Man, we see gameplay already.
I'm actually with James on this one because my fear, and a lot of the Spider-Man community is that this game is just quick time events. We've had games like this in the past. We see Spider-Man games are a fine art because you could totally screw it up or it could be absolutely amazing.
I mean, there's no in between. With the nature of Spider-Man and his acrobatics, there will be a good number of quick time events. Yes. But
sure,
I still think the game will be amazing. I don't think it'll be as many as people are expecting, but I still think it'll be amazing, and it looks great.
I think for a game like that, to settle the fans, they need to put out 20 minutes of gameplay of him just swinging about the city, maybe talking to a couple people, and then
not
do a
even 20
mission.
minutes, 10 minutes, just 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I hate that that trailer that they showed at E3 where there is this quick time event, section that literally lasts like 10 or 15 seconds, just completely overshadows the rest of that trailer.
That's what made everybody think, it's gonna be quick time events the entire time.
Yeah, but
and having the combat having the stealth sections from the Arkham games didn't.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
No,
I mean, it's basically Arkham Knight.
Okay, but think about this.
I disagree and agree with both of you guys.
I like
the scene with
Arkham
the quick
Knight.
time events. Think about this. You can't do that scene without quick time events.
True.
So I don't see what people are upset about.
That
can't happen without quick time events. The way it played out,
specifically the issue wasn't so much that it was the quick time events. It was that the web slinging section, whenever you're following the helicopter, felt like it was extremely scripted, and there was no way you could screw up other than just missing quick time events. That's what it felt like. What we want as Spider-Man fans is absolute open world web slinging. That's what we want. And if it's going to be closed in,
hold on. But if you want 100% freedom, and obviously that scene is important to whatever's going on in the game. There's no game, if you can tell me if I'm wrong, that gives you 100% freedom on a section of the game that is important that has to play out that way. That probably had to play out that way. You can't find me an open world game anywhere where you can do something different besides what you need to do to make the story make sense.
Spider-Man 2 from 2005.
Yeah.
Yep. Literally Spider-Man 2.
We literally just want Spider-Man 2 but high res.
That's pretty much all we want, Fame. Like, Spider-Man 2 has had the perfect web slinging, and that's all we want to see. We just want Spider-Man 2 web slinging. I
want the pizza delivery missions.
Yes.
They were good.
With the Tarantella music on the background.
And the subplot with Mysterio.
Yes.
That stuff was amazing.
Yeah, man.
That was the first game I played that had
Spider-Man
a joke boss fight.
Podcast.
Do you guys
real quick though, I gotta say this. Everything at PGW was complete garbage compared to Guacamelee 2.
Boy, if you don't stop.
Oh my god.
Dude, I was at work and I saw the Guacamelee 2 announcement and I did this fist pump and everyone was like, what the hell's wrong with you? I was like, I
just...
love Guacamelee. That is one of my favorite side scrollers.
Is it not multiplayer?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
They say it's coming to PlayStation next year.
Because I seen that and I was like, wait a minute, so it's not multiplayer? I was shocked when I saw it.
You know how the game is, man. You got to read the corporate speak. Unless they come out there and explicitly say exclusive, it's coming to everybody.
My only real disappointment from the Sony Paris Games Week thing was that they didn't show anything about Shenmue 3, and that makes me sad.
They were never going to show
game
anything.
doesn't exist.
Yeah, but
That game's coming out 2025.
The thing is, if they had shown you something from Shenmue 3, you would be sad as well.
No, it's weird. It's weird that they released that trailer a couple months ago, like in the middle of nowhere, where they didn't have the facial animation things. Like,
that trailer's so bad.
It's weird that they showed that trailer then and they didn't save it for perhaps this event patch with actual face animation. That was weird.
That reminds me. Now that you said that, I've been hearing around the forums from Reset Era and beyond that apparently PSX is now going to be not as good as anybody thought because they apparently pulled. Again, what I've heard is that they pulled the Sucker Punch announcement from E3 to delay it to Paris Games Week, and they pulled some of those trailers that we saw today from God of War and such, and put those from PSX.
I heard that as well.
Maybe. I mean, as long as they have Bloodborne 2, I'm good.
Bloodborne 2 is not happening, man.
Okay, but doesn't they point out the hugest flaw for Microsoft is that we get trailers once a year at E3, and that's it. And so every E3, the next day, we have to say, all right, well, see y'all next E3.
See you next year.
Huge flaw in Microsoft trying to show games once a year, where Sony is giving us 3 or 4 conferences, between E3, Paris Games Week, PSX. We're getting conferences at minimum 3 times a year, where we're constantly getting a roadmap of games. No release date, fine, whatever. I don't care. Is it coming? Yes, I'm happy about it. This shows a huge flaw at Microsoft, and they're screwing the pooch on this.
Keeps people excited what PlayStation does.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like Microsoft biggest problem was they announced games like our spring 2018 lineup was announced in 2013, 2014 time frame, and it's just been delayed. What Sony does is they do 2 years of hyping trailers with no date, and then at the end of that 2 years, they're like, oh, by the way, this year this game's coming. But they give you enough teases and enough different trailers to keep you strung along. Like I'm 100% confident that Detroit Become Human will be one of my favorite games of this generation.
Yep.
Since its E3 launch trailer, I've been watching that game nonstop and how it's progressed and everything else. I have so much interest in that game, and they put out enough stuff about it to keep me interested. I went back last week. I watched all of Microsoft's E3, and there's so many games that were in that reel that I sit there and go, where are they? What's going on with them? Why don't we have any news on any of these? What's going on with them?
It's just crazy to think we're going to get another Sony conference next month. In December for PSX, and we still have to wait until June of next year to see more games from Xbox. It's bad.
Here's an idea too.
We got hardware, G. We got hardware.
I was going to say, here's an idea too. You're coming out with this new $500 upgraded console next week. Maybe do a little conference or some kind of, like Xbox Direct thing on YouTube.
Yeah, like a little hype event.
Yeah, like here's our new console, and here's some new games that are coming for it.
Yeah, but they won't do that. They won't show any games. They're going to show, hey, here's your Xbox One X. We're going to show you what Gears 4 looks like on the Xbox One X. Like, that's what they're going to do. We're going to show you what Assassin's Creed. We're going to show you what Assassin's Creed Origins like. They're going to show you stuff that's already out, multi-plat, like Super Lucky's Tale. They're not going to. Microsoft, it seems like they're just done showing us anything that's coming in the future, as if they don't have anything coming. Which obviously there's stuff coming, but Jesus, you can't let the competition. That's like McDonald's and Burger King. Burger King not gonna sit back and let McDonald's keep bringing out burger after burger at the item. Don't sit back and let it happen. Market everywhere. No, and maybe like, oh yo, we got a new building though. Our stores look better. Hell no. What can I eat? They never damn what the store look like.
Okay, so see, this is the one problem why I have no confidence in Microsoft releasing games in a timely fashion.
He gone.
Timely fashion. Timely fashion.
Phil heard it. He was like, I'm shutting this guy down.
It's like, no. Kick him out.
He's been temporarily deleted. Yes.
You back undead?
Yep.
You got now for a second.
Are you sure?
He's risen from
Phil-
the dead on Halloween.
No, Phil's giving him a second chance. Watch what you say.
Better be positive, dude.
All right, so Crackdown 3 was shown at Comic-Con, and it was a disaster. Everybody knows that. You can't damage control it. It was awful to watch. And then everyone was tweeting about it, and then Phil Spencer came out and said, don't worry. We're going to show the games again. We're going to show Crackdown 3 at Gamescom, and it will look way better. And they never showed it at Gamescom. So either you're telling me there's not a better version of what we saw,
There isn't.
or the better version of Crackdown 3 is not having it at all.
Ooh, burn.
But I'm getting sick with the runaround. Like when Microsoft releases games, they are good games. I love Halo Wars 2. I love Cuphead. I even like the Voodoo Vince remaster. That was a fun game. I forgot about that game for so long, and I really enjoyed it. But they just need to start throwing balls because you're not gonna get home runs if you don't throw the ball at the plate. That's just
this whole thing about not showing a roadmap.
Are you sure that's how it works, Nick?
I don't
sure
play
that's how it
the
works?
roadmap.
My opinion on this is, I mean, they have the hardware which is curb stomping the PS4 right now. This is just undeniably it's more powerful than what Sony has right now. So they have that going for. If they really wanted to just delete every debate, every concern that people may bring up, is just show the games that you have in development, even if they are far away. Just show them. So you have the hardware, you have the games. The only really thing that people may bitch about is the price. But if you have the hardware and the games, the price at that point gets justified. It's not really an issue. So yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, and this is what frustrates me with Microsoft, because I hate to sound cliche, but it's like they could have it all if they wanted to. They got the most powerful hardware next week with the X. In my opinion, they have the best services and the best online platform, even the best controller, in my opinion. All they need is the games, these exclusive first-party games. And they're just, 2017 and 2018, I've said this, if it wasn't for first parties, this would have been a Wii U-esque year for Xbox One.
Yeah, they could solve that problem with one random, fan-dedicated event of 45 minutes. That maybe in December, January, something like that. And they showed, okay, we have, I don't know, Turn 10 together with Forza is making this other game, and I don't know, 343. They've been working on the new Halo 6, but at the same time, there's this kind of interesting new IP. They could do something if they had those projects going on. They could.
Can we all come I can't say can we come to an agreement, but this might just my opinion. This whole Windows 10 thing was a bad idea. It was a mistake because we hear about two things from Microsoft every day, especially from their executives, which I will admit I stopped following. I think I follow Greeny and Phil now. The rest I have to stop following. Two things we hear every single day: Xbox One X and Windows 10. Every single day. That's all we hear. We don't hear about games. It's Xbox One X and Windows 10. This whole Windows 10, we're all one big happy family, but the Xbox people still got to pay for Xbox Live. This Windows 10 thing was a mistake. I don't care what anybody say about, we're just happy that people get to play games wherever they want to play. It was a mistake. If they need to let it go.
They can't let it go now, though.
I don't think it's been a mistake. It's just it's just been too much of a focus.
You know, see, the thing is that they say I don't agree with Fame, but I don't disagree with them either. I think it's poorly done because a lot of these games, like for example, Cuphead, if you bought it through the Microsoft store, it actually ran worse than the Steam version. It dropped frames. It had all these issues. Like if you're going to do cross-platform, if you're going to sell your game through a store, online, on PC, and on Xbox, it needs to be optimized and well, because there's no point in Play Anywhere if it runs like garbage on one of the platforms.
Here's what I think. I think the Play Anywhere initiative is good. My opinion is if you want to attract more attention to Xbox, keep your Play Anywhere thing, but have the games come out on Xbox, I don't know, 3 months before they hit PC.
Exactly. Make there be significant benefits to gaming on Xbox as opposed to anywhere else. Like if they Fame and I have probably repeated this as long as Multiverse has been a show, which is crazy to think of, honestly. Where we've been saying this for so long about how the fact that you're going to have PC guys who are now getting Xbox games and they pay nothing for the same benefits as Xbox Live is crazy. That's insane, man.
I want to clear this up for somebody in the comment section. Obviously, I mean, I'm not 3 years old. I know Microsoft owns Xbox. Microsoft owns.
Let me guess. Is it Others Inc.?
I think it's George. I mean, I'm not 3, right? I completely understand. What I'm saying is, Xbox Play Anywhere, it devalued the Xbox brand so much. They're all on this thing about we don't care what you play as long as you play the games. I see a lot of PC guys who avoid the Windows Store like it's the plague because they rather play on Steam. So if you don't have the PC community fully behind your back, they're going to stay on Steam, so you can completely devalue your hardware, your Xbox, by placing exclusives on the PC, which the PC guys aren't going to. They're not going to buy on Windows 10 because they rather buy it on Steam. They'll buy it if it's a great game. They're forced to buy it on Windows 10. And so you have a whole subset of community that still has to pay for Xbox Live for no reason, for a reason they will not explain. If you can make it free for the millions and billions of PC users, you can make it free for the Xbox owners, but you won't, and you won't give an explanation why. You're giving a subsection of gamers the same benefits as others, but more. You're giving it better. You're treating the Windows 10 PC units better than your Xbox users by continuing to gouge them for Xbox Live every month.
No argument there.
Or just like,
I'm just saying, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. You can't tell me the guy next door to me who has a PC why he can play on the exact same service I can for free, but I have to pay to play that service because I have an Xbox. He has a Windows 10, a gaming Windows 10 PC, but it's all one family. It's all one ecosystem. How much sense does that make? The guy next door to me can play the service for free, and I can't. But we're all one family. It's all Windows 10. BS.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation we've got ourselves in.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we're going to kind of wrap things up on this topic before we move into the Halloween special. Anything else you guys want to say before we move in there?
I'm really glad I don't have an Xbox One right now.
Ooh.
Why?
Well, it just seems like so much hassle.
What?
To just like be an Xbox fan.
Listen, the multi-console master race is the best race to be in. I don't miss games. I love it. I don't miss games.
If I had the money and the time, I would have all three and have all the games. But it just seems like everyone, all the Xbox fans are just complaining about having an Xbox all the time.
I'm not complaining about having it. I love my Xbox. I'm just saying some of the things that get thrown is BS. That's why it's great. That's why it's great to have multiple consoles. So, if one is doing dirt or not producing, the other one is at all times. So,
James, listen, primarily as a PlayStation gamer, I mean, I just recently got an Xbox. Like, of course, I don't play it as often as I play my PlayStation, but it's great to have that little alternative. Like, for example, being able to play Cuphead or Ori and the Blind Forest. I love those games.
I completely
And,
agree. I'm not saying one is better than the other because I don't believe in console wars. Let's just move on. No one cares what I think anyway. I'm just here to make jokes, let's be honest.
Well, it's good to hear because we're about to move into our next topic. So one of the ideas that we had from way back in September, and we're almost here in November, was we wanted to kind of do like a Halloween special. And so we were trying to think of something we could do that would be kind of fun. So I was in a party with a couple other people, just kind of, having a good time, just kind of messing around. And we ended up like reading just old horror movie synopses over the group here. And it is just an absolute blast when you get someone reading it exactly right. So we kind of wanted to just kind of read some of these little synopses of certain movies and just kind of get live reactions from the group here. So if you want to hear some really, really dated bad horror movie plots, we're about to get started. So give me 1 sec. Getting this pulled up here.
Well, I can go ahead with one if you want. It's not as dated as yours, but it is really funny.
Oh, yeah? Go ahead.
So, the 2001 classic, Jason X.
Oh, jeez.
For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is the 10th film in the Friday the 13th franchise, simply titled Jason X. So, should I just go straight in and do the whole thing?
No, just summarize. We got to get through.
Okay. Finally captured in the year 2008, Jason Voorhees is held inside a government research facility whose scientists try to answer the question that keeps eluding them: why one of the most infamous mass murderers in history cannot die. Once Rowan, leader of the research project, prepares the specimen for cryogenic suspension, obviously, a greedy scientist goes over her head and comes to remove Jason, only to have the mad slasher break free and slaughter him and his entire entourage. Normal Friday the 13th stuff here. Here's where it gets interesting. Tricking Jason into following her, Rowan eludes him by entering the cryogenic freezer and beginning the process. But a breach in the system causes her to freeze with him. The government tries to deny any evidence of the project, and nearly 4 centuries pass, during which the Earth gradually becomes less and less habitable, and humans are relocated to a planet in another star system that they've named Earth 2. I know, imaginative, right? A team of young students descend onto the ruined Earth, where they find the frozen bodies of Jason and Rowan in the forgotten research facility, and take back on board their ship with them. Rowan is thawed and revived, but the team mistakes Jason to be dead, having no idea of his abilities or motives. Before long, Jason awakens to the sound of young people having premarital sex once again. And the carnage erupts once again as the ship proceeds to Earth 2. The remaining survivors fight for their lives as the centuries-old mad slasher proves that he is just as evil and just as indestructible during their time as he was centuries before. Now, I'm not going to do the rest of it because we'd be here for a while. This is that era of horror films that are just stupidly complicated, especially with a science fiction plot.
Yeah.
But the main thing to know about this film is that there is an android. I want something like sort of like a battle android that they keep around that kills Jason at one point. He is dead. Unfortunately, they killed him into the med bay, and he is revived through nanomachines. And so, like later in the film, they open the door and just slides open, and then there's just this metallic Jason Voorhees.
So hold up, nanomachines. Like, what is this? Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah, I know. This is 10 years before Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Jeez.
Nanomachines, son. Yeah.
I mean, Kojima and crew are known for taking bad movie plots.
I would not be surprised if the nanomachines thing is directly from this, or Agent Cody Banks, one of the two.
Oh my god, I remember that movie. God, stop.
That's one way you could kill Jason. Fox die.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But like I will say that it's this is one of those it's so bad it's good. If you watch with a bunch of friends, this is fun, especially because you know that song "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." You know that song
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
plays 3 different times in this film.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
A lot of love for Jason X and Mecha Jason, as he's called in the credits.
All right. So the next one I got pulled up here is the original 1953 House of Wax. Actually, it's actually not the original. There was a prior one back in 1933 called Mystery of the Wax Museum, but this is the first one of the thing. Now, there's a reason I picked this one in particular, and I'll see if you can pick this up. So it says Professor Henry Jared, played by Vincent Price, is a talented wax figure sculptor in a wax museum in the 1890s New York City. He specialized in historical figures like John Wilkes Booth, Joan of Arc, and Marie Antoinette. His business partner Matthew Burke demands more sensational exhibits to increase profits. Gerard refuses. Has a private tour with renowned art critic Sidney Wallace, and Burke leaves on a continental trip. During that time, they have an argument where Burke decides he wants to burn down the wax museum because then they can get the insurance money after realizing wax museums are stupid anyway. So, it says miraculously during the burning, Gerard survives, but with severe injuries, including crippled hands. He builds a new house of wax with help from a deaf-mute sculptor named Igor, played by Charles Bronson.
What?
Played by Charles Bronson of
What?
all people.
What? The criminal?
Yeah.
The wrestler?
Charles Bronson, the action star. Jeez, that's crazy. But it basically just goes on this whole big thing. He ends up just killing a bunch of random people and then putting them in wax exhibits, and they all realize, oh no, these wax figures are too lifelike in their actual bodies. That's pretty much it. So, but I only picked that one because I thought it was just interesting that it was Charles Bronson of all things. So the other one I had on here is called The Bat Whispers. And as soon as you pick up on why I picked this one, let me know. Just feel free to jump in. Okay. The mysterious criminal by the name of the Bat eludes police, then finally announces his retirement into the country. In the countryside near the town of Oakdale, news of a bank robbery in Oakdale has put Mrs. Van Gordner's maid Lizzie on edge, and Mrs. Van Gordner is leasing the house from Mr. Fleming, the Oakdale bank president. Yada, yada, yada. They received a telegram from Fleming stating that because of the robbery, he will be returning soon and will need to occupy his house. There are mysterious noises in the house and the lights turning on and off. A rock is thrown in the window with a note threatening harm if the occupants don't leave. Dale and the gardener, who is actually Brooke, the missing teller, are looking for a secret room in the house. They believe the money from the robbery is hidden there. Detective Anderson shows up and questions Mrs. Van Gordner. Mr. Fleming's nephew, Richard, arrives at Dale's request. He is hoping he's finding the secret room where the money is hidden. A mysterious masked man sticks a gun in the caretaker's back and tells him he better get everyone out of the house. The lights continue to go on and off, and the shadow of the Bat is seen by various occupants of the house. Dressed in all black, having a bat insignia on his chest, with a masked character, comes and confronts each person, and eventually kills a lot of people in the house. But this is a curtain at the end of the movie. It says, as the Bat is fleeing from the house, he is caught in a bear trap set by Lizzie. He is revealed to be Anderson, who isn't actually Anderson. The real Detective Anderson is the man who is found unconscious. The Bat says no jail can hold him and he will escape. A curtain closes across the screen. You're in the theater. Chester Morris, who played Detective Anderson, tells the audience that as long as they don't reveal the Bat's identity, he will be safe. They will be safe from the Bat. Now, the reason I chose this one is this came out in 1930. You know what came out in 1938?
My grandmother was born.
Nope, Batman. This predates Batman.
Oh.
And,
So it was
and
like the
Bob
original
Kane-
Batman.
With a bat signal.
Yep.
Oh. Wait. What? Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. This was actually a cited thing where they've actually Bob Kane stated this is one of the major influences for Batman. And I brought this one namely as to bring up a side point. Batman is not an original character. Get this in your skulls. He's Zorro and this Bat character from this one.
Oh, I heard that before.
I keep got to reiterate that point. It's always annoying.
You Marvel fanboys.
Damn, man, you got that narrating voice. We gotta, next year for Halloween, we go camping, frying marshmallows, and you tell me stuff.
I'll tell you a messed up story later. We've done that before. So. All right, so
Involving mushrooms.
now these stories are way better. So here we go. This one's called The Tingler and came out in 1959. A pathologist, Dr. Warren Chapin, played also by Vincent Price, discovers that the tingling of the spine in states of extreme fear is due to the growth of a creature that every human being seems to have called a tingler, a parasite attached to the human spine. It curls up, feeds, and grows stronger when the host is afraid, effectively crushing the person's spine if curled up long enough.
Who wouldn't be afraid?
I just remembered. I've seen this.
I know. Don't give it away. Don't go away.
Okay.
The host can weaken the creature and stop its curling by screaming. A movie theater owner named Oliver Higgins, who shows exclusively silent films, is an acquaintance of Dr. Chapin. Higgins' wife Martha, who is deaf and mute, dies of fright after weird, apparently supernatural events have occurred in her room. During her autopsy, Chapin removes the tingler from her spine. After they have contained the tingler and returned to Higgins' house, it is revealed that Higgins is the murderer. He frightened his wife to death, knowing she could not scream because she's mute. The centipede-like creature eventually breaks free from the container that held it and is released into the theater where the deaf-mute woman ran before she died. Chapin wishes not to tell anyone, knowing it would start a panic. The tingler latches onto a woman's leg, and she screams until it releases its grip. Chapin controls the situation by shutting off the lights and telling everyone in the theater to scream. When the tingler has left in the showing room, they resume the movie and go to the projection room where they find the tingler and capture it. Guessing that the only way to neutralize the tingler is to reinsert it inside Martha's body, Chapin does so. After he leaves, Higgins, who has admitted his guilt to Chapin, is alone in the room. As if by supernatural forces, the door slams shut and locks itself and the windows closed, echoing what had happened just before Martha was frightened to death. The tingler causes the body of Martha to rise from the bed, staring at her husband. Higgins is so terrified that she is unable to scream. The screen fades and there is the sound of someone, presumably Higgins, falling either into a faint or dead. Amidst the dark screen, Dr. Chapin's voice says to the crowd, "Ladies and gentlemen, just a word of warning. If any of you are not convinced that you have a tingler of your own, the next time you are frightened in the dark, don't scream." And the film ends.
Okay, first of all, the only thing I've ever known as a tingler was a vibrating condom they sell up here. I don't know if you can, but that's a thing up here. We used to call them tinglers in high school. So
Oh, God.
that's all I could think of through that whole thing.
Oh, man.
Man,
We're like, as soon as you said-
weird.
I had to mute my mic.
I was going to
You were
say
like,
Canadian.
reinsert the tingler. I was like,
Is that going
Oh,
to become like our new, like the new multiverse catchphrase?
The tingler.
Like, good night, good luck, and don't forget to reinsert those tinglers.
Oh, boy. All right, so next one on the docket is called The Wasp Woman.
Oh,
Came
can
out
I do
also
this
in
one?
19 All right, you want to read it? Go for it. Go for it.
Wait, which one? Are you using the synopsis from IMDb?
What's
I'm
the
doing
one?
the Wikipedia.
Okay.
There was one.
Wikipedia is like 3 paragraphs.
The one
Yeah,
from
the
Cuphead?
IMDb one is much longer. I'm going to quickly get that one up.
Yeah.
In the meantime, how's everyone doing?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty
Hey,
good.
well, while I'm doing
Absolutely
this, we
tingly.
didn't do this at any point during the month. What's everyone's favorite horror film?
Oh, favorite?
Yeah.
The Descent.
Oh, that's true. Ooh, yeah. You told me about this one.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the one horror movie that every time somebody asks me what is the favorite horror movie, I don't know. That one just comes in my mind. I don't know if it's my favorite, but that's the one that always comes in my mind. So I'll just say it.
I don't know. Other than Alien, I gotta have to say like Dusk Till Dawn. I like that as a horror movie, and it's mainly because vampires aren't really the horror aspect of this. It's Quentin Tarantino looking like a creepy pedophile.
Okay. Okay. I've got it up. So here we go. I'll do it in my best Vincent Price impression. In Hill's prologue, a scientist, Dr. Eric Zinthrop, is fired from his job at a honey farm for experimenting with wasps. The founder and owner of a large cosmetics company.
First off,
Is this Morgan
wasps
Freeman?
and bees, like at a honey farm with wasps.
I did not even clock that.
First off, go ahead, but
Okay.
that's just so weird.
The founder and owner of a large cosmetics company, Janice Starlin, is disturbed when her firm's sales begin to drop after it becomes apparent to her customer base that she is aging. Zinthrop.
Oh no! Newsflash, everyone! We're all gonna die. Not now, but eventually.
Zinthrop has been able to extract enzymes from the royal jelly of the queen wasp that can reverse the aging process. Janice agrees to fund further research at great cost, provided she can serve as his human subject. This sort of I'm sort of envisioning like the Queen Slurm from Futurama right now. Like, sort of. Okay. Displeased with the slowness of the results, she breaks into the scientist's laboratory after hours and injects herself with extra doses of the formula. Zinthrop becomes aware that some of the test creatures are becoming violent and goes to warn Janice. But before he can reach anyone, he gets into a car accident. He is thus temporarily missing, and Janice goes through a great trouble to find him, eventually taking over his care. Janice continues her clandestine use of the serum and sheds 20 years in a single weekend. What? She just gets 20 years younger in a weekend. All right. Sure. But soon discovers that she is periodically transformed into a murderous wasp-like creature. Eventually, Zinthrop throws a jar of carbolic acid at her face. And another character uses a chair to push her out of a window, killing her. Like,
And then it's over.
that's it. That's it.
It's kind of reminded me of the Fly.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Well, the original Fly came out around this time, around the 50s, didn't it?
Well, it was a good one.
Yeah. It was originally black and white, and then they changed it over.
Yeah. It was.
I'm still trying to figure.
The one with Jeff Goldblum is a cover. It is a remake.
Yeah, that one is the one I saw.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah, it's great, but it's a remake.
I've seen both. That was actually the first. The original Fly was the first one my dad ever showed me. The first horror movie we ever watched. I remember that pretty vividly.
The Goldblum one was the original.
The original one. The original Fly.
Yeah.
And then we watched Psycho after that.
Oh, Psycho. Fantastic.
Excellent movie.
I think the first horror movie I've ever saw was Blob. From
The Blob?
Oh, the Blob.
Yeah.
From the 1940s. When was the movie released?
Wasn't it like
Oh yeah, like
58?
late 50s, yeah, somewhere in that range.
Who's in it? It's not James Dean. Who's it? Is it Steve McQueen?
No, son.
I had
Yes, Steve McQueen. That's right. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
had
Steve McQueen
nightmare
did
for
it.
years. Yeah. I had
They
nightmare for
they
months.
used to show us
You
sequences.
had nightmares. You had nightmares with the Blob.
I was 5 years old when I saw that shit.
Oh, dude, that's not too bad, I guess. Like I used to be afraid of a puppet.
Oh, me
I
too.
used to. I remember watching.
Puppet.
There was a show. There was a show that would come on like on Saturday mornings, and it was the channel nobody wanted to watch. It was a show called Gospel Bill. It was like this. Like it was a little weird. It was a cowboy show, but it was a Christian cowboy show, and so it was. But they have like segments with puppets, and one of the puppets is I don't know who greenlit this as something appropriate for children to watch. They literally had demonic possession
What?
in a puppet show. Oh my god, that thing used to, like they actually had a thing where like there was like a demon, and they hyped it up too. They said, "Oh yeah, this is a demon that they a possessed man they locked in this in a cave, and he had like bitten off the chains and like cut himself and all this stuff." I'm like, oh my god! And then they show him and they show like a reformed man. And he's telling his story of his wife used to be possessed and showing him being possessed. And I used to think that puppet used to live in the basement of my house, and it got really messed up. But after that,
now.
oh man, I'm gonna try to find it on YouTube. I'm gonna try to find it and send it to you. Like,
there used to be where I was growing up that we used to have like local television or whatever, and basically anyone, if you dropped like a couple $100, could get their own TV show. And there was a guy who had a TV show I think it ran for 3 weeks when I was a kid, and it was him doing exorcisms on local children.
Jeez. ADHD? No, that's a demon.
Pretty much. It was like the parents would come on the show, and like these parents were serious, and they're like, "Oh well, Billy told his teacher no the other day. Oh well, we'll get that demon out." They'd like hang the kids upside down and like throw holy water on their face. I'm just like, what is this? Who let this on air?
True horror. Public access television.
I think the one thing we've all learned from this episode of Multiverse show is that Canada is a very, very strange place.
Can I just speaking of this, I'm just looking up the original Fly. The first 3 words of the plot. In Montreal, Canada.
Okay. I can't speak for the French. Okay, like they're their own little.
Hey, Montreal is like practice France. Don't blame the French on your mistakes.
Practice France. All right. So I got this one. I'll do my Rod Serling impression.
Okay.
I haven't done this in years. Dr. Bernard Adrian, a kindly scientist who seeks to cure a young woman's polio. All he needs is spinal fluid from a human to complete the formula for his experimental serum.
Man, her tingle is just out of whack.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. The name of this movie is called The Ape from 1940. Forgot to mention that. So I'll start over. Sorry. Dr. Bernard Adrian, a kindly scientist who seeks to cure a young woman's polio. All he needs is spinal fluid from a human to complete this formula for his experimental serum. Meanwhile, a vicious circus ape has broken out of its cage and is terrorizing the townspeople. The ape eventually breaks into Dr. Adrian's lab. The doctor manages to kill it before any harm can come to himself. However, the spinal fluids he requires to perform his experiments have all been destroyed during the struggle between him and the ape. Dr. Adrian then concocts an idea. He will tear off the ape's flesh and use its skin to disguise himself as the escaped circus animal and murder townspeople in order to extract their spinal fluid. Thus, the murders will be blamed on the ape, and he himself will manage to avoid any suspicion. However, one of his attacks towards the film's end is unsuccessful. He is fatally knifed, and the ape's true identity is revealed.
So can we just roll this back? And I know mental illness wasn't really understood well back in the 30s and 40s, but if your first thing for I'm gonna make a cure for polio. I need spinal fluid.
I think we're noticing a trend here, though. spines, spinal fluid, tinglers.
So I need spinal fluid. So I'm gonna skin an ape. I'm gonna wear its skin, and then I'm gonna murder
Different
people for
times. Different times.
Multiple times.
It was free game back then.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I should mention too, the Doctor is played by Boris Karloff.
Of course he is.
Oh God, of course.
Yeah. So
I've just looked at the last one on your list, and it's from Britain, so it feels only right that I do this one.
No. I gotta read this one because I feel like you're gonna give them a pass for how crazy this is.
I'm absolutely not.
Did you read this, by the way? Did you read any of this?
I have not read it.
All right, I'll let you read it, but you got to read it at a quick pace because this one's pretty long.
Okay,
so
I'll do stereotypical, very posh 1940s English voice.
I have a question.
Gotcha.
Yes. What's the question?
What country do you think produces the best horror movies?
Not Italy.
Ooh,
I know it's not Italy.
There are a bunch of good Italian horror though.
Not Canada, I can tell you that.
Not into the whole Splatterhouse stuff. That's weird.
For me, it's France.
So Spain.
Spain is a good one too.
Spain, Germany, which basically created the genre.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I mean, my favorite horror films are American. They are.
I don't know. There's a lot. America puts out a lot of horror films.
Yeah, but like the stereotypical of like what modern horror is comes from American horror films from the late 60s, early 70s.
Specifically pacing. The pacing comes from the United States.
Like
modern. We gotta read this.
Sorry, every modern horror film can be traced back to a combination of Psycho, Dawn of the Dead, and Halloween. That's it. That's what I'm going to say.
Gotcha. All right, we got to read this one, and then we'll wrap things up for the evening here. Let's get rolling.
Okay, boys, let's do this thing. Okay. Tommy Gardner, a vaudeville comedian, pulls the communication cord on a GWR express train, bringing it to a stop so he can retrieve his hat. Returning to the train, he escapes an angry conductor by ducking into a compartment occupied by attractive blonde Jackie Winthrop, whom Gander flirts with. Another passenger, Teddy, has his eye on Jackie as well, but her companion, Richard Winthrop, ejects them both from the compartment. When the train stops at Foul Vale Junction, Cornwall, these four get off to change trains, as do Herbert and his fiancée Edna, spinster Miss Bourne, and the tippling Dr. Sterling. However, the station master, Saul Hodgkin, tells them the last Truro-bound train has gone, and that they cannot remain at the station, as he is locking up for the night. The passengers insist on staying, as it is raining heavily, and the nearest village is 4 miles away. Hodgkin warns them the station is haunted. A branch line once crossed the river on a swing bridge close to the station. One night, 43 years ago, the then station master Ted Holmes had a fatal heart attack while attempting to close the bridge, causing a train to plunge into the river. Ever since, a phantom train has been heard periodically on the abandoned track. It is said to kill anyone who looks upon it. With that, he reluctantly leaves them. As the passengers make themselves as comfortable as they can, they hear footsteps outside. Richard opens the door, and Hodgkin collapses into the room. Dr. Sterling pronounces him dead. Later, a terrified young woman in black appears. She, Julia, pleads for help, saying that someone is pursuing her. A car spins off the road and crashes into a tree. The driver is unhurt, but his car is damaged. Back in the waiting room, he introduces himself as John Price and explains that he is searching for his sister Julia, who he says suffers from delusions. Julia protests that he is lying. Price further explains that she thought she had seen the ghost train and became obsessed with it ever since. The passengers tell him that Hodgkin has died. When Price insists on seeing the body, they discover it has mysteriously vanished. Price leaves to arrange transportation. Then an approaching train is heard. As it thunders past, Julia smashes a window to look at it, then screams and faints. They hear singing from a nearby railway tunnel mouth. Julia claims that Ben Isaacs, the sole survivor of the accident, is coming back. Teddy shoots the ghost, causing it to flee back into the tunnel, leaving behind a blood-stained cloth. Teddy shows the others the cloth and orders the others, at gunpoint, to stay put until the police arrive. But Richard punches him, knocking him out. The passengers carry him to the bus Price has obtained. When Teddy comes to, he is furious with Richard, as now there will be no one to intercept the train on its return journey. When Gander remarks that he had returned the bridge to the open position, Dr. Sterling suddenly orders the bus driver to stop, while his Confederate, Price, produces his own gun. Sterling orders the driver to turn back so they can warn the train. Meanwhile, guns are being loaded aboard the ghost train. A very much alive Hodgkin flags the train off and climbs aboard. I've just read the next sentence. Is this why you wanted me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll read the sentence before. Meanwhile, guns are being loaded aboard the ghost train. A very much alive Hodgkin flags the train off and climbs aboard. Teddy explains that the train is really being used by Nazi filth columnists to secretly transport arms. While Price heads down the embankment with Julia and the driver to try and stop the train, Teddy knocks Sterling out and gains control of the situation. The train plunges into the river. End credits. Oh my god!
It just so now we all learned everything scary in this world is just the result of Nazis. That's all it is.
I mean, in 1941, fair enough.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I read that for the first time and I was like, really? This is what happens? It just came out of nowhere. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was reading through it and I'm like, well, this isn't that funny. This just seems like a normal weird ghost story. And then I saw that and I went, oh, okay.
So
well,
we
started talking about Wolfenstein and now we're finishing talking about Nazis, the OG Nazis.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know, I was gonna wait till we were done with the show, but I'll tell this story here. So one of the things that I liked really doing when I was growing up was I used to be a camp counselor before I was 18. And so we used to do I used to be in Boy Scouts for a while. And we would do these trips. We go to one of the campsites there called Cherokee. And this particular campsite, there's a story called The Old Hermit about the area. It's basically just a story about, there's an old hermit who lived on this land that used to be used for logging, and he was dying, had a pack of dogs. He would train them and that kind of stuff. But and like the Boy Scouts, when they were trying to build the camp, would go up to him every year and ask if they could buy his land, and he said, "No, get off my land." And eventually one day they go back and they find out he's dead, and they take the land anyway and just kind of move on from there. So that's the story. Is like they take it, and ever since then he's been hunting the campground. If you go out to the old outpost, that's where his old cottage used to be, and he'll go haunt you and freak you out. And so this is the story we would tell around the campfire. So it was like a tradition. You always told it to the new scouts. You always told it when they were on their first camping trip. So one year, on the council, I'm in charge of the group, and so it's like on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night or something like that. And we sit down, build the fire, and we're gonna tell the story. So I go tell the story, and we're really into it. We're like, oh yeah, like we're getting into the story. Kids are getting a little scared, and so we finish the story, and we had one kid saying, "That's not real," and it's like, oh my god, this piece of crap. It's just like you're ruining it for everybody else, and just like the whole. Yes, we know it's not real, but it's a story. It's supposed to be fun, and so he was just being real obnoxious about it, and so we decided we want to kind of get back at him. So some of the kids and myself were like, well, we're gonna scare him. So there was this kid, Nathan, and and so we were like, okay, we're gonna scare him. So we waited till it was about around midnight or so, and so I go down. I go down to like the creek and get real muddy, get real dirty. And so I'm 6'7". I'm a big dude. And so what we convinced him was I get real dirty, and I take off my shirt. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get real into it. I had long hair then, so I made it all crazy and frizzed out, and I looked real nuts. Took off my glasses, and so the guy, what we did is we got Nathan climbed a tree and started dripping water on top of this kid's tent, and so he started. And so he's like, "Oh, well, something's going on." Now these are pretty small tents. All these considered it's like a denim canvas kind of tent. And it's like a metal frame. You can stand up in it, and it's on top of like a wooden plaque thing on the bottom. And so they're freestanding. So he starts dripping the water down on top of the tent. So the kid's like, "Oh, it's gonna rain. Let me go get my camp chair." So he turns on his lantern. Goes out, grabs his camp chair, and he's coming back. I walk in behind on the other end of the tent. I sneak in through the back way, turn off his lantern. He's coming back, and he sees the lantern's off. He's like, "Oh, well, probably batteries died." So he doesn't open the tent flap, and he just slides he closes his camp chair and slides it under his bed. He walks in, goes inside the tent. He reaches up for the lantern and flips it on. And like 3 inches away from his face, I'm standing right there. And I go, he freaks out. He runs and he sprints out of the tent, freaked out, runs straight to the bathroom. There was the showers are. Runs straight to the showers, shuts the door, and stays in there all night. And it was so funny at the time. Oh my gosh. And it's actually really funny because I ran into him like 2 weeks ago. He's in the military now. So it was like, oh, good. We reminisced about that. It was a good time. It was so much fun back then. So I love doing scary stories. You just having a good time. So, but yeah, well, thank you guys for coming out to the show. We really appreciate it as usual. This has been a fun show. Really enjoyable. I want to thank especially Bunny here for coming out. Thank you, man, for showing up.
Oh, no problem, man. Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate
All right. So we're going to do some outros here, and we'll get moving. Fame had to leave a little bit early, family stuff, but we'll get everything rolling. Let's start with Undead. Where can the good people find you at?
All right, you can find me on YouTube. I'll be uploading stuff once I move on Wednesday, and I have all my stuff unpacked. And you can follow me at Twitter at Undead3XVI. And don't forget, if you support the Tick Patreon, we may even give you a tingler.
Yes, man. We're totally getting demonetized for this.
Oh, hell yeah, we are.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mike.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in for another wonderful episode of the Multiverse Show. You can find me on the Inner Circle at ticgn.com. Also on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, at Mike P. The Truth.
All right. And James?
I love talking about horror films and all that kind of stuff, so I'm really glad we got to do that today. Because it is Halloween where I am right now. So everything's a little bit spooky. There's dry ice just sort of everywhere around my room right now. Everyone can come and talk to me about Radiohead and why Halloween is the best horror film. Although I will accept The Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre if you believe that.
And you better accept Alien.
I love Alien, but it doesn't have
Yeah, it doesn't really have iconic music. It doesn't really have.
Last question of the night, very quick. Who wins between Alien and Predator?
Alien.
Which Alien? We're talking standard Alien, or we're talking like Queen?
Xenomorph.
Like standard
Xenomorph.
Standard Xenomorph.
Predator.
Do they prep time, or they just dropped into a random scenario, not knowing each other?
Random scenario, not knowing each other.
Random scenario, not knowing each other. I give it to the Xenomorph.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
okay.
Really?
Because the whole thing about Predator is that he's got good instincts, but he's got to have prep time.
Yeah,
He's
and the
got to
whole
know
thing
what he's
about
got to know what he's hunting.
yeah, that's the exact purpose of Alien versus Predator. It's for the predators to kill the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only purpose of that pyramid. But
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, if you want to come and talk to me more about horror films and why they're awesome, you can come and get me on Twitter at James_S Wilson. I'm awesome, basically. So there's that.
All right, Bunny.
All right. It's been a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate the invite. It was fun. Was an honor again to be here with such fine people as you guys. And you can find me on Twitter at Nick Marcel or Creepy Bunny, or YouTube. You can check out my little tiny Piccolo channel at also the Creepy Bunny. And thank you for whoever tuned in.
All right.
Also, very quick shout out to the chat. You guys have been great. Love all the horror film suggestions you guys have been putting in.
Oh yeah, man, it's been a blast.
Yeah,
love reading it. Oh, also, final question. I gotta ask this question. All right, so it's a free-for-all battle royale. Takes place on Elm Street of all places.
Mm-hmm.
No prep time. Nobody knows who anybody is. Battle royale. Who's last two people standing, and then who wins out of the two? Chucky, Michael Myers, Jason, and Leatherface.
Right, Chucky is gone.
Yeah,
Chucky's
gone in 3 minutes. Like he didn't.
Last two people standing are Michael Myers and Jason, and Michael Myers wins the whole shebang.
Yeah, because Jason takes forever sometimes to resurrect. Like, God, you know how long it's taken him to resurrect sometimes. Michael Myers is like back like
instantly.
2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Like you shotgun that guy in the face, and he's got a new mask and a new wardrobe. Like 1 minute later.
I mean, my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes in any film is spoilers for a 40-year-old film. When Laurie sticks the coat hanger in his eye, and she's like sitting down, and she's like, and then it's soft focus in the background. He just sits up, and it's the most terrifying thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I think Michael wins the whole thing. Leatherface, don't discount Leatherface.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not immortal though, is he?
Nah, he's just some crazy dude. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's a crazy dude that got away with what he was doing for decades.
Yeah.
Like people know when Jason's attacking instantly. People know when Michael's attacking instantly. Leatherface doesn't just stop people talking. He stops them talking and then eats them.
No. I basically came to the conclusion of like, okay, first two people are either Chucky or Leatherface, because in a situation like that, Michael Myers is going to sit in the back and he's going to stalk the crap out of people. Like he will show up when he needs to show up. Jason is kind of like a lumbering kind of I'm going around the area kind of deal. Like he stalks a little bit, but not to the level of stalker-ish as Michael Myers. Like he's more of like I'm going to go find you. I'm the find you kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Leatherface is also a kind of roamer in that situation, so both of them are roaming. I figured Chucky would realize he's kind of screwed and just try to go for maybe a surprise kill. And I was thinking, like, best case scenario, literally the best case scenario he has is he surprises Leatherface and gets an easy kill out.
Well, the one thing we're not counting is that Chucky, out of all of them, Chucky is the only one that has supernatural abilities on his side.
Yeah,
because he is a product of a voodoo curse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of them technically, everyone but Leatherface technically has something supernatural about them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
One's a zombie.
Michael Myers.
One
Michael
can't
Myers
die.
Michael Myers in Halloween 6 has retroactively been the product of a curse.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, everyone's got a little bit of something. I basically came down to like, yeah, Chucky's screwed if he goes up against anybody other than Leatherface. Leatherface is going out early because he doesn't have any supernatural abilities to back him up. And it's basically come down to Michael Myers or Jason. And the only way Jason can win is if he is not tired of killing Michael Myers, because Mike's just going to keep getting back up again. But Michael Myers is, one, fairly smart, and two, would stalk Jason when he least expects it. So I think Michael Myers will take the win as well. So that's me.
And also, he'd win because of all of those films, of all those film series, the best films are in the Halloween films. There we go.
This is true.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for showing up to episode 73 of the Multiverse Show. You guys have been beautiful, and we will see you guys later on the greatest show on Mondays. We're out.
We're coming.